We're here with Tony Mutter, helmsman aboard InfoTrack. Tony, an interesting forecast. How does it lie for you guys?
It's pretty good for us, actually. We've got reasonable breeze all the way through. We've routed roughly 1 day 15 hours to 1 day 19 hours for the whole trip, depending on which model we use. The international models are trying to push us offshore, sailing hotter angles and to get around the trough, and the local models are trying to push us down the coast. So that is the one divergent issue that we have to sort of come out, have to find what's best for us. I think we could actually, I'll say right now, I think it could be a little split right at the very first mark outside the heads, as boats will choose different sails and could spear off in different directions.
So some could be heading offshore, some staying down the coast. What's the sort of thinking between those two?
Well, going offshore is sort of following the more European weather model, which is generally very, very accurate. And it's trying to push you out and around the end to a very skinny part of the trough and try and get you to cross in a southeasterly position off the Australian coast. The other one has you, it's trying to use the eddy. That's down, which is very, very strong.
This is the big countercurrent off Gabo, yeah?
Yeah, the great big countercurrent, and it's quite strong at the moment. It's running at nearly 2.5 knots if you're on the favoured side. So if you are in light air, and it was sustained for quite a period, you would get quite a decent push. Like 2.5 knots you're doing, even if you were drifting, 2.5 miles every hour, and that could certainly shorten your light air experience there.
Yeah, a bit of a transition tactic.
yeah, and it's a hard one to know what to do. The boats, the 100-footers, as you know, are completely different vessels. We have Comanche and InfoTrack are in the same sort of corner, and as being wider boats and favouring sort of reaching angles, and the router always wants you to just reach around everywhere, even though at some point you do have to finish. But and the other one is the skinnier boats, like Blackjack and Wild Oats and Scallywag. They're very much, should be very strong in the VMG. So that's by far the preferred kind of vessel here for Australia. It works out, 8 times out of 10 to be the better option. But, if we get some conditions for us, look out.
And Bass Strait and down the Tassie coast?
Yeah, it looks pretty easy. Reasonable breeze, lifting, quite a bit of pressure at one point. Could be up to 30 right at the end. It should be really pleasant. It's not, I don't know, this race, I always thought this race was an uphill battle, and I've never, since 2013, I just haven't seen it.
Must have had part of the luck.
I think it's just myth.
There'll be a few who tell you that's not the case.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Who knows?
So finally, if you had to pick where perhaps the tassels would come from for overall, what boats or what sort of length would you think that might be?
Right, so I think traditionally the 50-footers are really, really strong, and on the face of it with this forecast, they're going to be really strong again. I would think as long as they can get in at a reasonable time on the Saturday, I think I would put money on them if I was a betting man.
Good, thanks very much, Tony, and good luck with the race.
Yeah, thank you very much.